It's just weird. Like, this is no longer our home, y'all. This was our home. This was like, I could just walk in and that, you know what I'm saying? Can't do that no more.
Pulling up, no Pirellis. Me and my girls, we hopping out in foreign things. Prime time.
Alright, y'all, so I'm actually riding around in one of my old neighborhoods. This is one of the neighborhoods we lived at when we was here in Atlanta. Well, my family was in Atlanta, and I'm honestly just reminiscing, like, you know, just kind of going back. I think this trip for me is really just reflecting on, you know, just kind of like my past, and like, you know, a lot of places that I live. I've realized that I've lived a lot of places throughout my life, and I'm really just kind of like going back to a lot of those places and just kind of revisiting old memories and things like that. This was one of the neighborhoods that we lived in around like 2010, 2011. Between 2010 to 2012, I think we stayed here for like 2 years or so. But it's not too far from the area where we just moved from, where my mom just moved from. This was our like a family house we all stayed at. I was actually pregnant with my oldest daughter around this time. She was born in 2011, so yeah, it was probably like 2010 when we first moved in over here. The original house that my mom and them had burnt down, so we kind of like was like all over the place for a while, just trying to figure out, you know, a new place to settle down in or whatever case may be. So we kind of moved around a lot just to kind of like find something that we liked. But this is one of the places, if y'all want to take a look at the neighborhoods, really nice. My mom always made sure she kept us in really nice areas, really nice neighborhoods. There's a lake over here. I had a friend that stayed at this house right here. Her family probably still lives there. She was a really nice girl. I forgot her name, but she was a really nice girl. And let's see, this right here appears like the clubhouse. I actually had my baby shower here. My baby shower when I had my oldest daughter. We had a baby shower right there. And then coming up here is the house that we used to live. This brick house right here on the corner is the house that we lived in for a while. After I delivered my oldest, this is where we came. Right here. Really nice brick house. You know, this was just a nice area for us, and I know I just miss it. Atlanta will always be home for me. This is something that I'll always come back to. I actually still want to just, you know, have more property in Atlanta. Dang, that house burnt down. There's actually so many properties out here that's getting renovated, like the areas are changing and stuff like that. So yeah, but the next house I'm about to show y'all is the house that my mom just recently moved out of. She didn't own it. Like I said, we moved around a lot after the house that we did have. I'm gonna actually show y'all the house that burned down, because that was like my favorite house, and then I'll show y'all the house that we moved to after that. We lived in like maybe 2 houses after the house got burned down, but all of these are kind of close in vicinity, so I'll show y'all just kind of like, you know, what's what. But I don't know, one thing about, you know, my upbringing is, you know, there was a lot of moving around. There was a lot of, you know, moving from city to city, state to state. And that's one thing I told myself that I was not going to do with my girls. I just kind of feel like it's really like a form of instability. And I don't like my girls feeling like, well, I know when I grew up, I didn't like feeling like, you know, I didn't know where I was going next, or, you know, making friends all over again. It was always kind of like a restart. I always had to like restart my life all over. And one of the times that it really hurt me the most was when we had moved from Pensacola, because y'all know I'm from New Orleans, but I was born in Florida, so it's like I really claim both, because like both of those are homes to me. But I was born in Pensacola, Florida. That's where I went to school. My elementary school was there. I met a lot of friends, a lot of my, you know, really close friends. My best friend is from there. And basically, like, you know, after elementary school, which was 5th grade, we ended up moving. I had went for the summer, because I would always spend the summers in New Orleans before I actually moved back with my mom. I had went back for the summer, and when I went back home for the summer, it wasn't to Pensacola, it was to Orlando. So it's like I never got to say bye to my friends. Like I left 5th grade thinking that, oh, I was gonna see my friends back at middle school, because we was all talking about, you know, it was like all of us were going to the same middle school. So like I left elementary school, you know, thinking that I'm finna see all my friends starting back the new school year, but I'm starting all over again in a place that I have no idea about, never been to. Like, it was just a mess. So I was crying. I was really sad about it. I think it was a really harsh thing, like, for me not to be able to say goodbye to my friends and just really, you know, spend time with them before I left or whatever the case may be. It was just like a surprise. Like, surprise, we live here now. I was like, what? Like, what is this? I was expecting to go back home to Pensacola. Like, I didn't know we was moving to Orlando. So it was just like a shock to me. And I would never do that to my children. I'm not knocking my mom for that. I guess it was a decision that she had to make. But honestly, like, that was one of the most hurtful things that I experienced as a kid. You know, and then ever since then, I just kind of got used to it, because every time we turn around, we were moving somewhere new, somewhere else. And, you know, like I said, my mom did the best she could with, you know, provided what she had, you know, to do what she had to do with. But if it were me, I think I would have made different decisions when it came to, like, you know, moving, you know, because you gotta realize how things affect your children. Sometimes you don't really know how certain decisions affect your children. I always have to think, when I make decisions, I don't never just think about myself. I always think about my girls too. So, you know, I think that affected me and my sister in a lot of ways, because we both had a lot of friends, you know, growing up in Pensacola, and you know, even in Orlando. We ended up moving from there. Next thing you know, we was in Jacksonville, Florida. So it was just like we hopped all over. Atlanta was one of the places where I feel like my mom kind of let us make that decision. So that's where I can say that she did kind of, you know, let up on just moving all around the place. She gave us the option to move either to Atlanta or to Miami, because her job, I think at the time, was offering positions in both areas. And so we decided Atlanta because we had a lot of friends here that we just knew, you know, some of our spiritual friends that we knew growing up or whatever. So we ended up moving here, or whatever the case may be, which was, you know, our decision or whatnot. So I honestly think that Atlanta was probably one of the best moves that we made, just because, you know, we met a lot of people. We had a lot of great experiences here. And it's home. It just feels like home. I just remember visiting when I was like 17. My best friend lived here, and I visited her for my birthday. We drove here from Jacksonville, and it was just one of those feelings that I'm just like, this is home. Like, it's kind of like, you know, I'm trying to get that way with Houston. I'm not all the way there yet, I guess, because in Houston I don't really know nobody, and it's just like, you know, it's me by myself starting all over. Well, me and Flo just starting all over on our own. There's no family, there's no mom and dad, you know, kind of like breaking it in with you, whatever. But I do have cousins there, and they do live a ways away, but, you know, they weren't there at first. But anyways, this is the house that we lived. This was one of my favorite houses, y'all. This house actually burned down. It burned, and it didn't, I'm gonna say it burned all the way down to the ground, but it did get burned. The majority of the house did get burned, and it wasn't livable. So my mom and them had to actually move out or whatever. It was crazy, because with that, it's crazy because I still know people that live in this neighborhood. With that particular house, we were out of town. I wasn't living there at the time. I was actually living in Miami, but I still got friends that live in this neighborhood. The camera got cut off somehow. I thought I was recording. I did get some footage of what I just said, but I don't remember where I left off. But anyways, so we're going into the next neighborhood where we just recently moved from. And my mom, well, I'm not gonna say we, but like I said, this was where my mom lived. And I lived here once too, but I moved out, got my own place, which is now like an Airbnb type of situation. So this house actually had a lot of memories. I didn't realize the last time I came down here, which was like a couple months ago, I actually cleaned it up for her and got it all nice and stuff for when she came back. She's actually in Baton Rouge right now, my grandmother. But I didn't realize that this would be my last time actually being in the house, like staying in the house, because now somebody purchased it and they're taking over the house and doing, you know, it's their home now. So it's kind of weird. This is kind of an emotional thing for me, because it's just like, dang, this is one of those houses where we stayed probably for like maybe 9-10 years. My girls, they grew up in this house. Like, this is the only, like, you know, this is all they know pretty much. It's just weird. It's like I'm coming here and I'm not going here to be home. I'm going here because it's somebody else's home. It's just weird. Like, this is no longer our home, y'all. This was our home. This was like, I could just walk in and that, you know what I'm saying? Can't do that no more. They still got the slide in the back. Damn. So sad. that's that. That was the tour. Just got so many memories here. Atlanta will always be home for me. Like, I don't think nobody would probably ever really understand that. Flo has a different connection to Atlanta. He feels like when he moved here, he kind of moved here running away from something. And you know, he had a lot of issues back at home or whatever. It wasn't safe for him to stay there, and just he came out here as an artist. He had to start all over, just like me. But he came out here and he was struggling real bad for a long time. So his memories here weren't as strong, and he doesn't really have an emotional attachment like I do. He didn't have any family here or nothing like that. So it was a lot different for him. So he's just kind of like, you know, he don't really care about Atlanta like that. He don't really care to come back here or whatever the case may be. But, you know, I never can grow that type of hate towards this place or any place that I've lived. I feel like every place that I've lived has helped me and will always be a part of me and my growth. You know, and I always look at it that way or whatever. And I always have a memory attached in some kind of way. I feel like with me and Flo, this is a special place just for us together because it's where we met. And if it wasn't for neither one of us living here, then we wouldn't know each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's always that too. I need to figure out where I am going. I wanted to see my friend Trini. I'm finna pull over real quick because Trini actually lives in this area. She was supposed to be, I think she went and got her hair done today. I'm gonna see if she made it home. So I'm gonna contact her, y'all, and see what she got going on. I'll see y'all soon.
Pretty girl gang. Pretty girl gang. If you are not bad and don't get it back, then you cannot sit with us.